getting tired.
I would like to change ambitious to enthusiastic, because ambitious is very selfish.
Instead of changing it, let's add another one. What about flexible? Enthusiastic, flexible.
Scaffolder.
When you're too fast, tell us. We'll stop.
Enthusiastic, flexible. Receptive to new ideas.
Receptive, we probably already gets covered in open-minded. Because if you're open-minded, then you're very receptive to
I
other
didn't reach
ideas.
that.
Oh, you didn't reach that. Yeah. Integrity, so you have that as part of you. Integrity.
Subject knowledge.
Knowledgeable. We've got knowledgeable there.
Holding your range.
Communicator. That probably would be open-minded. G.
Good manager.
Facilitator. Listener. Manager. Communicator. Okay, I think we need to stop there. We've got a tall order for all of us to achieve. We've got 20 things that we need to be an effective teacher. And do you think one is more important than the other? They're all things that are required of you as effective teachers, as professional teachers. And how do you develop all these qualities? There's a huge, big, tall order for you to become effective teachers. How do you think you can develop these qualities? Let me tell you, my belief is that everybody is not born with everything. That in life, there are several things that we learn, including motivation and interest in certain areas, right? And just to tell you my story, I didn't know that I was going to be a teacher, just as all young women in Pakistan with no career orientation enter the university and they'll say, oh, we'll think about it once we've graduated. So once I graduated with good grades, and I went back to my department to get my grades, and my chairperson said to me, we need a teacher. Would you come? And I said, when do you need a teacher? And you think I can teach? And said, yeah, all right, you got a good grade, you can. I'm sure you can. Anybody can teach. Anybody can teach. So when do you just want me to start? Tomorrow. Okay, fine. And there I go to the class as a teacher, well equipped with I had a master's in English literature, with all my knowledge, all my content knowledge, all my fantastic, I can recite poetry, you want me to soliloquy of Hamlet, and I can do that for you, but could I teach? And within the first week, I learned that I knew nothing about teaching. And so what did I do then? How did I started? Or, because in our environments and systems, observing other people is considered like, oh, I don't want people to come to my class. Generally speaking, not in Beaconhouse probably, but generally speaking. So, I thought about how I was taught. But the way I was taught did not fit the context of my learners sitting there, because I was taught in a totally different kind of a school. And there, things that worked did not work for them. And therefore what happens? Oh my God. Experiment. Leave, trial and error, guinea pigs, myself, the learners, disappointments, pessimism, I can never teach, I'm so bad, my learners are so bad, they can never learn. All those things up and down. Till I actually got an opportunity to start stepping back from there in a professional development program and looking at things and analyzing them and working them out. Then I developed the enthusiasm, the motivation, the knowledge about teaching. All these things came after that. I wasn't born with them. And if you had asked me, do you have all these qualities to become a good teacher? I don't know. I never think about it.
Ma'am, I had the privilege of your student back in 1997, and I must admit you have been the most influential teacher I ever had in my life.
Thank you about that. Thank you. And as I was saying yesterday, if you can make a difference to one life, even for one experience, I think you've done your job now. So thank you for that. G. I would say I have not just developed, I am continuously developing these things. I haven't stopped. I hope I haven't stopped, because the day I do, I'm ready to go 6 feet under. So it's a constant thing that each time you keep developing and learning new things. right? So I don't think that there's an end to that. But yes, you can develop. That's the answer. You can develop. With that, these are my beliefs. This is my belief system. You might disagree with me totally if you want to, and challenge me if you want to. But only at the end when we have a chance for that. In the meantime, what I'd like you to do is, I've got some questions for you to think about. And I'd like you, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables, and I think I've got 5 questions. So I'd like each table to take one question. Think about it, take a flip chart, write the response on that, and then I'm going to invite one person from each table to put the flip chart up and tell us the response of the group. Not your individual response, please, the response of the group. Right? And we'll take 20 minutes to do that, keeping 20 minutes for the discussion and then another 10-20 minutes for that, and then we'll start rounding it up later on. So what I'm going to do is I'll pass around the flip charts so that you can write down your group's questions. I hope you've got enough. Just write the question at the top so that for everyone else to remember what your question is. And please use the experiences in the group. I do not want you to write book answers, please. So your experiences and coming from your, from the heart kind of answers. And it doesn't matter, we don't want any jargon. Simple, straightforward language. Group 1. Can you read out your question for everyone? One person. One person. Okay, chorus together. Right. So, thank you. Question number 2, group 2. You can read it as a chorus.
How structured do you need to make the lesson that my first students learn? How do you know?
Thank you. Group 3.
To what extent is student success related to teachers' actions? Chorus? Can improving teachers' actions lead to improved student learning outcomes? Why and why not?
Okay, so you've got a set of questions. Are you writing those down before I move to the next?
We need markers.
You need markers? Markers are here. Send one person from your group to come and collect a marker. Are all groups ready? Right, kind of. All right. Let's get the first group to tell us about what they think about the first question. No, not first question. What was your question? What knowledge question number 4. You see, they're not letting me structure it. So I need to change the question.
What knowledge, skills, attitudes? Good point. And that's where
what is the 4th question? Because it says 5th. Tell us very quickly. Shall we try and structure this activity in the group so that everybody gets about 4 minutes, 4-5 minutes for presentation, and then 4-5 minutes for question. 50 minutes. Do we have 50 minutes? No, it won't work. 3 minutes for presentation, 3 minutes for questions, right? And then we move to the next group.
In our group, we thought about this question and we have come up with these things.
Sorry, just one more logistic arrangement. The group that's going after them become their timekeepers. If you give them more time, that time will be taken away from your group.
Okay, fine.
Highly structured.
Okay, starts now. What skill, knowledge and attitudes do teachers need? We think that the teacher should have subject knowledge and the content knowledge. She or he has to be resourceful and also the psychological analysis. Because if he or she cannot analyze the students psychologically, then there is no use. You cannot let them know about your subject knowledge. And then skill, he or she should be a good listener, a problem solver, and self-fulfilling prophecy as my
Are you guys okay, or do we need to use a mic?
Can you hear me?
There is a mic there, if you don't mind using that. Yeah, there's one on the table.
Yeah, the beginning teacher once said,
Because that was in
and then can you hear me?
Yes.
So attitude from the next question. No, it's not question.
It is about
Is a small room.
It is working.
Yeah, it's working.
So open-mindedness is also, you need that, and should be motivated, sensitive and disciplined also, because if you are not starting at the time and finishing it on time, then it's a chaos, like she said. And how and when they can attain this, the teachers can attain it. It should be an ongoing process. As we all know, it cannot be defined to a time limit. We cannot say that from the day we start to teach, we should have all these qualities, because it is impossible. It is not humanly possible to have all the qualities in one day. So it is an ongoing, it should be an ongoing process, and you can learn from day-to-day experiences, and you can learn from your mistakes. Self-evaluation is needed also, and there should be an urge for development and improvement. That was about.
Thank you. Any point, comment or question?
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
My colleague over there.
Self-fulfilling prophecy is actually a concept related to interpersonal skills. You would have experienced that sometimes when you start your day with an unhappy thought, you might be unconsciously acting in such a way that all the things turn into something bad. But once you're up with a zeal and you start your day with a happy thought, you start shaping and framing things in such a way that they turn out to be good. So it's actually a skill. It's in fact a skill in the teacher, that how she is making the students develop a good self-fulfilling prophecy. That they need to, when they enter the class, they have a zeal. They are happy that they are going to learn something good. The way you think. It is actually a skill. What she knows is actually the knowledge. How she is going to do is a skill.
And it's possible to learn this, and there are ways in which you can actually develop yourself in such a way that you don't fall in this trap of self-fulfilling prophecy in terms of the negative one. So, you come with saying, oh, I can't do it, and you tell all the learners, you can't do it. They all say we can't do it, and nobody can do it.
Psychologically,
and that's self-fulfilling.
Psychologically, once you start shaping your mind in such a way, you always act that way. So it depends on us.
Absolutely, it's an attitude. You're right, but there are ways to learn how to do it.
And that is a skill. In that.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. So there's plenty that we need to learn, and we are not either born with it, and we don't enter teaching. We'd be perfect if we enter teaching like this, but none of us are, I'm afraid. And therefore, we need professional development, right? What question do you have?
I'm representing Group 3, so we have
Could
question 3.
somebody take us back to the last question? And the arrow takes us back.
This would be Group 3, question 3, and my group, my team was, my group members, thanks to them, they came up with some brilliant ideas and suggestions and a brilliant way of thinking. First of all, we felt it was necessary to define what really is meant by the term teacher's actions. What is meant by teacher's actions? Does it mean physical gestures? Does it mean, what does it mean? So we came up with various definitions, and in doing so, that also necessitated definition for what is meant by learning outcomes. We have to be clear about the objectives. What is it that we as teachers aim to achieve in the classroom? So first of all, definition of teacher's actions. Teacher needs to be organized. What is meant by organized? A number of